Good afternoon. Welcome everybody back to MultiFamilyHer. We are back. We are live. It's Ilona and Zoria here.
Hi, everybody. Whoa. little one here.
So
Yeah.
today we are talking. Today we are talking about how we financed our eightplex here in Edmonton and what our experience has been, and if we would do that again. There's a lot of opinions out there about CMHC MLI Select, and we'll touch on those as well. But before we jump into our content here, just a few announcements. Next Saturday, September 3rd, we have our in-person meeting for Invest Her in Edmonton. Make sure you register. It's going to be a great event. We're going to network and we're going to have an expert on Airbnb.
Yeah.
So super excited about that.
Yeah, so you can register on meetup.com. It's /Invest Her Edmonton. We'll put the link under this. And yeah, come out. It'll be great to meet other women that are in real estate. No matter what experience you're at or what experience you have, it doesn't matter. It's just a great way to just connect with other people and meet some new people and learn a little bit about Airbnb from our special guest.
Yeah. We always have lots of fun at those Invest Her meetups, so please register and we would love to see you. It's always great to meet people and to actually talk real estate in person.
Yeah, absolutely.
You somehow learn a lot more when you're in person talking to people.
Yeah, it's so nice to be in person.
Yeah. There's another announcement, and it's more of a reminder that we have our YouTube channel up and running. It's MultiFamilyHer. Make sure you subscribe and you like our video. Make sure you subscribe so that you get those notifications when we post our videos on YouTube. And let us know what kind of content you want to hear from us. And we always want to tailor our content to our viewers. So feel free to connect with one of us.
Yeah, and I was just thinking of, as far as in-person events as well, there's the Edmonton Real Estate Investors Association is also having. I think we took a break in August, but it's back in September. It's always the second Wednesday of the month. So I believe that's September 13th. And we're going to have
September 14th.
14th, yeah. And that will be, the person speaking will be from the city and talking about, what's going on as far as business development and the kind of economics of the city. So it'll be really good.
Oh, cool. I'll have to miss it.
Networking opportunity. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great topic though.
People at least there.
Yeah, I went to one and I really enjoyed it. But September 14th is my son's birthday, so I won't be able to come.
Well, if anyone can come. That's also on meetup.com/revenue. So you can register there or get more info.
Okay. Can you post that link as well, Zoria?
Yeah, I'll post that as well.
Awesome. All right. So any more announcements, Zoria, from you?
I think that's
before we jump? No? Okay.
So
CMHC MLI Select.
Yeah. So this program, those of you that don't know the background, so CMHC, the Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation, they have always had an affordable housing program, but it was this year in March that they changed the rules, which made it a lot more attractive, especially for us here in Alberta, where things are already affordable. Like the kind of rules worked in our favor. And so they went from, if you wanted to get more funding from the government for affordable housing, you used to have to decrease your rent by about 10%. And that never made much sense to do. Like you would basically not be cash flowing for like a 10-year commitment. But then they changed the rules. So now to qualify, you only have to have a certain number of your units rent controlled. And the rent control is now dependent on the affordability. So it's the renter's median income. So you take the 30% of the average renter's income. So say in Edmonton, I think it's around 66,000. You take 30% of that, you divide that by 12 months, and it works out to about $1,650. So the rule is you have to have your unit below $1,650, which is really easy to do.
Especially if it's a 1-bedroom unit.
The 1-bedroom, yeah. They didn't differentiate it whether it had to be 1, 2, or 3 bedrooms. So, but for 1-bedrooms, like everything qualifies. And then after that, you don't have to keep it below that. You have to then you can't increase rent more than inflation after that. So yeah, when that came out, we had already had our 8-plex purchased. We were planning to refinance it, and the timing worked really well because this program just came out, and we decided to apply for that because of the benefits of it compared to just the regular CMHC program. And I can pull up the
So we can talk about like what we got, on our CMHC MLI Select.
Yeah.
You're gonna pull up the program, right, Zoria?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our plan is just to kind of go through some details of this if you're thinking of also doing MLI Select and the differences between what it is for like an older building and new construction, because it's quite different. And yeah, so this is for a purchase or refinance of an older property. Ours was a refinance, but because it was so close to the purchase of the property, like just a 1 month or 2 ago, then we were actually able to go under the new construction program. And so yeah, so this is for if you're purchasing or refinancing, and you basically need to get the best terms and interest rate, then you want to get 100 points. So, and there's different ways that you can get those points. You can get it from affordability, like I talked about. It's 30% of the median renter income. And then, so depending on how many of your units are rent controlled, that's how many points you get. There's also ways to get points from energy efficiency. So if there's a 15% reduction of energy compared to like average building code, I believe. I'm starting to learn more about this one, but yeah, you can just get different points depending on how energy efficient it is. And then you can also get points on accessibility.
So then, and it's like it really differs between older properties and newer construction. So
yeah, so now
it's more beneficial.
Yeah, so here it's 40% of units, 60% of units, and 80% of units.
Yeah, and
so I've been hearing like a lot of longtime investors in Edmonton with multifamily, they're just not doing this program because it doesn't make sense for older properties. Like you're putting rent control on 80% of your property. And in Alberta, we have the ability to just increase rates or rent as much as we want, according to keep them up with market. And they were really worried that they would really be limited in what they would be able to increase the rents. And
especially on older properties where it's not like they can charge really high rent. And it's just more beneficial to increase the rent with the market instead of being rent controlled.
They didn't want to be limited.
Yeah.
But if you go to this next page, this is for new construction. And here it's only 10% of the units, 15%, or 25%. So it's much lower. So to get 100 points, instead of 80% of the units, only 25%. So in our 8-plex, that was just 2 units. And you can choose which units you want them to be. And I don't even think they need to be the same units all the time. But for now, you have to always designate the 2. And yeah, so we made them the 2 1-bedroom units. And we're able to get 100 points just from that. And
so yeah, in our 8-plex, we have like 4 titled townhouses together, and we designated the interior bottom units for this program.
Yeah.
We thought we could charge a bit more rent for the units that are on corners.
Yeah. In our experience, like even a renewal of a similar property that I have, rents of the 3-bedroom units have been going up a lot more than the 1-bedrooms anyways. So I think we made a good choice in picking the 1-bedrooms. And again, we can still increase the rent, and you can increase it by whatever. If you have rent control in your province, then you can only increase it by that amount. Or if you don't have rent control, like in Alberta, then it's whatever CPI is. So if it's 6-7%, then that's still quite a lot that we can increase it.
Yeah, and the point is to get to the 100 points, correct?
Exactly.
So,
and I believe this part is pretty similar in both.
Yeah, the energy
like,
efficiency.
Depending on how many points you have, it's about I think it's the same. Just compare the two. It's a little bit different. But yeah, so in our case, the new construction, so depending on how many points, whether you have 50, 70, or 100, you get these different terms. So in our case, if you have 100 points, your premium that you pay to CMHC is only 1.25%. And that's huge because typically, in just a regular CMHC program, if you want to get the highest amortization and the highest loan to value, you're paying like 5.25%. So it's a huge difference. And that's like just an extra percentage, and they take that premium and add it on top of your loan. So it's not money that you have to come up with extra, but it's just more mortgage that you have to pay off. For our sixplex, it was like $60,000 that was just added to our mortgage. For the sixplex, I had the 5.25%. And then for this eightplex, we actually only paid 1%, probably because it was a refinance.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
For the refinance, it's just 1%. So it was even better. And then, the rest of it is similar. So you can get up to 95% loan to value. Just the minimum DCR is 1.1. And then this is another huge difference between just a regular program and the affordability program, is that you can go up to 50-year amortization. And so if you spread out your mortgage payments across 50 years, it really reduces them. So it helps with cash flow. And then there's the recourse and replacement reserve discretionary. So another thing that right here is interesting. So this, I don't think that was on rental achievement. Yeah, that's not part of the new construction. So rental achievement means that you have a certain amount of your units rented. And so one thing with this new construction program, if you're building it brand new, you can get the financing before it's fully leased. And that's huge. So you don't have to necessarily get bridge financing and then fill it up and then refinance it. Because that was one thing that
usually with CMHC, that's their usual condition.
Yeah, in the regular program, that was a condition. Like they wouldn't fund your property unless it was full and you were like stabilized. But if this is a new construction, that is waived. So that's also huge. So for this other sixplex that I have that's still under construction, that's what we're going to be using. And we're going to save ourselves like $40,000 or more by not having to get bridge financing and then refinancing later.
Yeah, so there are lots of benefits. Like we, for example, were able to get 90% loan to value. We got 50-year amortization. And like Zoria said, we just paid 1% CMHC premium versus 5.25. So there are pros and there are cons as well to this program. And a lot of investors don't like it.
Yeah, so the cons are that, you're basically putting rent control on your units and you're committed to that for 10 years. So that's a long time. But that's the affordability one. What we're looking into too, though, if you can go with the energy efficiency, that just like you might have to do some improvements to your property, and you have a certain amount of time to do those improvements. And once you do them, like that's all. Like there's no commitment after that point. So that's what we're trying to do.
For rent control, there is no commitment?
There's no commitment for rent control. No, there's no.
As long as it's like energy efficient, right? Yeah. So then there is another stream of accessibility. So that's worth exploring as well.
Yeah.
It's just the way our eightplex is designed, there are stairs. It wouldn't be that easy to make it accessible unless people go all the time through the back. And then the doors would have to be wider and everything would have to be changed right from the design stage.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that would have to be changed. So if you are designing your property from the beginning, you could definitely take advantage of that and make it more accessible. And I know a lot of people more in like BC and Ontario are looking more at energy efficiency and accessibility because it's not affordable there, and so the affordability part is hard to meet. But you can still get these good terms with the energy efficiency, and you can use a combination too. So in the sixplex, we're going to try and get some energy efficiency points so that we only have to have one unit rent controlled instead of two.
Yeah, same here. We'll try to get that as well on our eightplex. All right. So why some investors don't like it? Why you would not like the rent control portion? It's cash flow. It's limiting your cash flow, but also it's not that great on the exit, I think, because when you sell your commercial property, the value is based on the income, and that rent control really limits the income that the property is making. So here decreases the value of your property. And the good thing for us is that we're not thinking of selling our eightplex in the next 10 years. It's a long-term hold anyways. So
and by 10 years, we'll be able to just increase the rents up to market and then sell it.
Yeah, exactly.
Another good important thing to note is, parking fees, pet fees, utility fees, those are not controlled. There's not going to be any cap on those ones. So
that's a great point. Yeah, that's outside of rent.
It's just the base rent that you can't increase more than a certain amount.
Yeah. So the fact that renters in Alberta make, how much did you say, 66,000 is a big benefit, because it's the median rent of income, renter's income median renter's income that you need to take into consideration.
Exactly.
For the price that you set on the units.
Yeah. And we could talk about how it really ended up working out for us with interest rates, because interest rates have kind of negatively affected us in this program, because they're looking at your debt service coverage ratio. And so in order to meet that, they're looking at, like if the interest is going up, then your mortgage payment is higher. And so because of that, it actually, we were supposed to get 95% loan to value, but we only ended up getting 90 or 92. I'm getting confused with the other one I have. I think 90%.
Yeah.
And so similar with our sixplex, I'm only going to get 92 instead of 95, which is still high, which is still fantastic. But that's how the interest rates are affecting us, as well as just less cash flow overall because of higher mortgage payments.
Yeah, and because of that, that basically created an opportunity for another investor to come in with us on our eightplex and participate in our deal. The fact that we had to raise a little bit more money than we anticipated in the beginning.
Yeah, but overall, this program definitely increases cash flow. That's the reason we did it, is to just make the cash flow even better. So we have over $1,000 of cash flow a month, plus putting about $800 into the reserve fund every month. So it puts us in a
which, if we don't spend that money basically goes back to our investors.
Exactly.
It's a reserve fund, so we're not touching it for now. Yeah, it's not up for distribution, just in case, because we don't want to have those cash calls. Yeah.
So I think we touched on all the. Can you think of any other cons? I think the main thing is you just tied to that for 10 years.
Yeah, some people are also worried that they would be over leveraged with this program, which is true. You kind of leverage yourself quite high. The good thing is that, it's a con is a pro that they're looking at interest rates and DCR coverage, and then, like in our case, they made us put more money down than we anticipated. So we're not like highly over leveraged.
Yeah, like CMHC basically ensures that you're not going to be too over leveraged. That's why they decreased ours. So But yeah, that's why it does make more sense again for the new construction rather than older properties. There's less risk in new construction, and less maintenance, and less chance that those rents are going to really drop. Especially just where we are right now. Like, we qualified with rents still at pretty bottomed out rents from like the recession we've been in the last 6 years, and now rents are just starting to creep up. So I really don't expect rents to go below what they've been the last 7 years. It's kind of
Yeah, it's been pretty flat for us here in Edmonton.
yeah. And what helped too is like we got those rents with the property not even finished yet. Like
Yeah.
with our tenants, there was no decks, no landscaping, no fences. Like
No.
it really didn't look very attractive.
No,
And
not at all.
so that's another thing. When we come up for renewal, we'll be able to get higher rent just because it's complete now. Really close.
Yeah, it's looking beautifully. You guys check out, Patrick posted a reel on his Instagram, and I don't know if he did it on Facebook as well, but this is what it looks like now. It's just beautiful. Fencing is done, landscaping is done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a bit of parging left to do. So
Yeah. And numbers on units. Yeah, not that much is left, but yeah. So also, why people are scared that they would be over leveraged is that when it comes time for renewal of your financing, lender could ask you to put more money down. And I think it is a risk, but it's mostly risk for older properties, I would say, than newer construction. The type of properties like our 8plex is a type A property, and it goes up with inflation. So we already see the value of our property increased over the past 6 months by quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And we just anticipate it to go up because of the inflation.
Yeah, we paid about around 1.9, and we figure based on another appraisal that I did on another property, probably around 2.25 if we were to appraise it again.
Yeah. So it's good news for our investors, and we are happy with that. And we'll keep watching the market and see what we need to do to adjust. And the good thing is that we don't have rent control on 6 out of 8 units, so we can employ some creative strategies there as well for increasing cash flow.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah. So for our viewers today, thanks for joining us, guys. And what we were planning on doing with Zore is bringing you in one of the lives a mortgage broker who specializes in commercial financing.
And let us know if you wanted to know like more on this topic. If
let us know.
And we could potentially bring a mortgage broker on to talk a bit more about it, and how he's
and you can ask your questions, right? That's going to be a free session for you to ask your questions, everything that you're not sure about. Are you interested in multifamily and you don't know how financing works? Bring those questions.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have to just talk about the MLI Select program, but just about commercial financing in general. This broker has financed, well, even just an MLI Select, like dozens of deals already. And so, we have the experience from, I'm going through the process the second time now, but he has a lot of experience doing it.
Yeah.
For older and for newer buildings, and very large buildings as well. And has an interesting, he showed me just an interesting way that an older building, where they took it to their advantage. I think it was in BC. And they were very strategic. What's that?
What did they use on the older building in BC? MLI Select? Or
MLI Select, yeah. And they were just strategic in the way that they picked which units. And so it's just an interesting case study.
Cool. Yeah, that would be awesome to take a look at that and share it with you, our viewers.
Yeah.
Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, MultiFamilyHer. And next Saturday, September 3rd, is the in-person meetup, Invest Her. We will post the link for how to register, and take care and enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, everyone.